everything that they eat, meat, chicken, and everything, they take care that the animal was killed in a good way, like he didn't suffer or anything like that. Okay. You know what I mean?
Okay. What is a good way to kill?
Like a way that the animal. Oh my god!
Like you don't give a shit about humans, man. You hate humans. You know that you're sadistic.
What? Why would I hate humans?
Of all vegans.
By trying to say why?
You don't care about human health.
You used to be vegan. Did you hate humans?
Yeah. I didn't care about that at all at the time. I just didn't think about it.
Anecdotal evidence is not a basis to make your claims in a debate.
My life
I don't
is
know.
not anecdotal evidence.
It literally is. That's the definition of anecdotal evidence.
In my life.
It is, but it's still anecdotal.
Mate, you're lost in your head in false studies.
I don't know what to say. If you think,
isn't there something to be said for your own personal experience?
sure, but you can't use it to prove that veganism is healthy. We gather lots of people's experiences, lots, and we publish it in peer-reviewed research.
You think it's wrong to collect its milk? Well, from
Yes.
a grass-fed cow? You
Yes.
think that's wrong?
Yes.
When it doesn't hurt the cow.
Well, why does a cow produce milk?
A cow produces milk. Well, it produces excess milk. You know that, right?
But why does a cow produce milk?
Well, when it has babies to feed its baby
Exactly.
colostrum, right?
So the cow has to be pregnant to produce that milk.
But then once the cow stops feeding its baby, it still produces a lot of milk.
The cow has to be pregnant.
It's wrong, even though it doesn't hurt the cow.
Well, it is hurting the cow because the cow has to be pregnant to produce milk. They artificially inseminate her. She's pregnant for 9 months. When her baby's born, they take the baby away because that affects their profits.
Okay, fuck that then. I wanted to ask you something else, okay? I think this is the best thing I can do to make you think, okay? So, you know that obviously you can't get B12 on a vegan diet, right? Because I think it's totally fine. If you have like an animal that is healthy, you can totally eat its feces, right?
Hey! Do you understand that you're an idiot slave? Like, do you get that?
That's not an argument.
Literally,
Because babies are literally born to drink milk.
Yeah, they're mother's milk, not a cow's
That's
milk.
not vegan, though.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not vegan.
What's he
Mother's
talking
milk
about?
It's not vegan.
What?
It is literally milk. Sorry.
If a vegan mother, consents to giving her baby milk, that is not animal exploitation, my friend.
I said to you, I kill animal.
You kill them.
Yeah, and I'm ex-military. I kill people as well. So it don't bother me.
If one of your, I don't know, one of your parents, one of your families got cancer or AIDS, this one cures cancer and AIDS. Raw milk.
Heard it here first, folks.
How are you to judge it's a bad thing to begin with?
You don't. Yeah, and by
Your moral.
Yeah, and by
Not
your.
the rest of the world.
I'm talking about other people's subjective morality as well. If I stab an animal in front of you, you're not going to like it.
I actually don't mind it. I've butchered my own animals.
Can I stab you? Is that wrong? Can I stab a human?
Yes. There's no moral difference for me.
So can I rape you then?
Go for it. There are animals in nature that rape other animals.
God.
There is no moral ground for
Morals
that.
don't
Not
exist
on
in
morals.
nature, they're
If your
subjective.
argument is based on morals, there's no argument.
What does a being have to have for you to give them moral value to the point where we wouldn't kill them?
Again, that's just like far too zealous a question, and it's far unnuanced enough. For instance, I'm actually a campaigner for nature rights, so the idea that trees and rivers should have rights, legal rights.
Trees.
Yep.
My last question would be to you, if you could live a life where you're doing your best, either not to harm humans, not to harm animals, or not to harm either, which would be more in line with your own morals?
So say that again.
So, there's three options. You're already doing your best not to harm humans. You don't exploit humans for any reason purposely.
No, bollocks. You exploit humans all the time. Think
No.
of the fucking humans you exploited to get the clothes you're wearing. Like, have you thought through all the humans that are exploited to do every single aspect of your life? How dare you even say that you're like somehow morally right?
No, I'm not.
Like,
I wasn't talking about myself.
No, I'm talking about you. How many humans have you exploited all the time for every little bit of things you do, for all your vegan food? Where do you think your vegan food comes from? How many species are going extinct every day because of your coconut milk? Just so easy.
Animal agriculture.
Is this like performative virtue signalling? I'm better than you.
No, I've never said I'm
Bullshit.
better than anybody.
Yes, you are.
No, I haven't. You're just extremely defensive.
It goes through every single one of your questions.
No, it doesn't.
It's like, no, you literally just said a minute ago, it's so easy not to exploit animals. I can fly in my coconut milk. Do you know how middle class and self-righteous you sound?
I'm not middle class. My dad works in a slaughterhouse, and I was.
You sound like it.
I
need my. I'm better than you because I have coconut.
You don't
milk.
have to have coconut milk.
You said coconut milk. You said you
no, I know, but I'm not better than anybody.
Soy and coconut milk.
You could, and if you don't want coconut milk, you can buy us something else. One of the things you mentioned were crop-related deaths, small rodents dying in crops. The thing is, the animals we eat in the West are predominantly fed with crops like grain and soy. So there's more crop-related deaths because we eat animals. So it would actually reduce the amount of small rodents dying if you went vegan. And I think what you're really making there is an appeal to futility fallacy, which is to suggest that because we can't end all animal suffering, we might as well kill animals to eat by the billions. You also mentioned RSPCA approval. The thing is, the RSPCA actually approve male chicks being ground up alive in the British egg industry, so it doesn't really mean anything. It's more just a way to make us feel better about buying the product. But my question actually comes from the idea of stunning an animal before we kill them, or giving them a good life first. And the thing is, I'm sure nobody on the panel would accept this logic in a human context. If I only killed really happy humans that I found here, you wouldn't accept it. If I stunned the humans before I killed them, we wouldn't accept it. So what's implicit in what you're saying is that there's a difference between humans and non-human animals that justifies that difference in treatment. So my question is, what is the trait difference between, say, myself and a cow that justifies killing the cow but not me?
Thank you. And there's a couple of very persistent...
What's the moral difference between humans and non-humans that justifies us eating non-humans but not humans? Well, the difference is that where we are is a situation where in society there is a wide moral consensus that eating animals is acceptable, whereas eating humans isn't. I'll just leave it there.
Why do you think plants don't feel
Sure.
pain?
So a few reasons. So firstly is biology. So they haven't got a brain, they haven't got a nervous system, they haven't got pain receptors. But secondly, the reason we evolved to feel pain and other animals evolved to feel pain is so we can avoid things that harm us. It's to aid our survival. Plants can't move. If I start cutting a tree, it can't escape. And therefore there's absolutely no evolutionary reason why a plant would evolve to feel pain.
I'm just giving an example. A particular fish collected and served on your plate. Is anyone feeling the pain?
Oh, so if an animal's already dead,
I'm not talking about an animal, I'm talking about fish.
Is a fish a floating vegetable?
I'm talking about fish.
Is a fish an animal? If a child's instinct is to eat sweets all day, I mean, you're saying I'm going to find the evidence in the future when it comes out in 10 years. Okay, I'll find the evidence that there's a fairy in front of us in 10 years, and hopefully that'll convince.
I think comparing a fairy to optimizing health is
what we're talking about baseless claims without evidence is what we're doing. So I wouldn't expect you to think, okay, the fact that there might be evidence in the future means there might be a fairy in front of me now. I wouldn't expect you to accept that from me. So why should we accept the fact that you think that in so many years in the future there might be evidence that a vegan diet isn't healthy? Why should we accept that? What's your actual argument for us accepting that? I don't give moral value to life. I don't give bacteria moral value. I give moral value to sentience. And because a plant isn't sentient, they haven't got a subjective... They haven't, let me finish.
Plants aren't sentient?
No.
Absolutely not.
No,
They have no subjective experience of life.
Really?
Where are you getting that from?
Where you get
you haven't spoken to a tree?
No, I haven't spoken to the floor.
How are you doing?
How are you doing? You're back.
I've been, how old are you?
25.
I've been coming back before you were born.
I bet you have been.
I'm 52.
I bet that tree's been here longer than you.
Yes.
That sentient tree.
I've been coming here for 28 years. 28 years I've been.
That's why your debate skills are so good.
Tree gets sick, a tree dies, tree gets
a tree dies doesn't mean if
I told him that the other day.
Yeah. That was more than a day ago.
Well, more than a day. Well, no, please.
But you know what? I think about it every night.
Oh, you think about it every night?
I think about it every night. Every time I close my eyes. Your point is that I'm a hypocrite because I eat plants. Let me finish, please. You're saying I'm a hypocrite because I eat plants and plants have moral value by your logic. And I'm saying, okay, the animals you eat, wait, let me finish. The animals you eat are fed with plants, and therefore there are more plant deaths because you're not vegan. And if you care about the plants, you should also be vegan.
Okay. So what do you eat?
Yeah. What are you going to eat?
Don't breed cows.
Eat the plants directly.
So what will the cow eat?
No, we don't breed them into existence.
We don't bring them to existence?
Correct.
We don't bring animals to existence?
What's wrong with this guy?
Correct.
Are you okay?
You know what? I'm feeling a little bit stressed out, to be honest with you. Bringing life into the world isn't necessarily a moral thing. Wait. Bringing life.
What school
wait.
What school School.
You wouldn't know it.
Please help me. Did you go university?
Yes.
You have degree, you have all of that?
Yes.
Why do you have that? I can buy that in the market.
That is completely irrelevant to this conversation.
Because you're being nuts.
He's telling you bought your degree.
Yeah, I could buy your degree in the market.
Why is that relevant? Why is that relevant?
Because you talk shit.
Look.
I could buy your degree in the market. I don't know why you in school for that. You waste time. Spend money. Because you ain't intelligent. And you spend all this time at school.
Okay, wait.
Okay, good.
Bringing life into the world isn't necessarily a moral thing to do. It's not virtuous to bring life into the world. If you think that's the case, then you should never buy condoms. Don't buy condoms because you're stopping life. You could bring life into the world every time.
I don't buy condoms. I don't.
You probably should.
I don't.
But as for the fox has no rights. The only rights the fox has got are the ones I give the fox.
Do you eat vegetables?
Yes.
Why do you kill the grass? You don't eat lettuce?
Plant.
Do you eat lettuce? Yes or no? You're laughing now.
Yes, I eat lettuce.
Of course.
Do you affirm that, for example, our ancestors, yeah? It wasn't easy like get apple.
Oh, sure. They may have had a necessity.
So what that means is now you're saying that in today's age we don't need it.
Yes.
That's subjective. But our ancestors did need it to survive. So you wouldn't be here today if you didn't eat meat.
You can find a context, right, where it would be ethical. Our ancestors needed to survive, so therefore it was ethical then. That doesn't make it ethical in this context. In the same sense, killing another human can be justified in some contexts. In self-defense, violence can be justified. That doesn't justify it in a context where I don't need to. But you can use the same argument to justify racism. Right, so if your argument justifies racism, then there's an issue with the argument.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the word racism.
You don't think there's anything wrong with racism? It's natural.
Do you know the etymology?
Exactly, that doesn't make it moral.
We believe in a hierarchy of the animals. We believe in group preference of our species. We also have care harm.
And you also care about in-group preference of your own race?
Of all the way down to tribes.
So would you...
Race is your extended family.
Would it be morally justified for you to discriminate against me and treat me worse because I'm not part of your race or that group?
Depends where and what context. But yeah, so for example, I wouldn't want to have the NHS giving services to people who are not British.
To resist. Just because of their race? But that's just racism.
Well, do you know the etymology of the word racism?
You're discriminating against someone purely because they're a different race to you, which is arbitrary discrimination. I literally gave you the hypothetical where everything else is equalised other than the race. Yeah, so that's racism. Of course it is. You're only discriminating purely on their race.
No, but
that's how you're differentiating between the two people, their race. It's racism. So I'm trying to convince you that speciesism is wrong. You don't even think racism is wrong.
I think it's healthy and natural and normal.
Well, look, there's a difference between what's natural and what is moral. There are many things in human history that are natural. Can be seen as natural. It spread our genes through the gene pool. It's an evolutionary advantage. So is moral?
Well, it depends, because most rapists are of the lowest of the low in terms of male pecking order. So they probably left no choice but to want to propagate their genes. Doesn't mean it's right, but you know, if you understand objectively why people are pushed into such extremes, then we can...
Okay, but I'm not talking about why they're doing it. I'm saying, is it moral? And you're saying, no, it's not moral, right? Someone, even if it's natural?
It depends on which society. It could be very moral.
Well, I'm talking about you.
It's very moral in Pakistani communities.
Not for the victim's perspective, it's not. So let's ask you, because we're talking about your subjective morality. Right. So is it wrong to someone regardless of the fact that it's natural?
Sorry?
Is it wrong to someone regardless of the fact that it's perfectly natural?
So if I was living in times of war, you know,
it's still wrong.
Yeah, but it's going to happen anyway. Might makes right, and therefore
this is absurd.
People are going to, you know, and kill my kin. Yeah. It makes sense that I repay the favour.
Getting sensory pleasure is not a good enough justification to hurt animals.
Pleasure? No, you shouldn't do it for sport. Any form of blood sport is horrific.
Why is fox hunting wrong?
Because
why?
Because chasing an animal through the countryside and then dogs ripping it to shreds for the enjoyment of people is clearly, in my view, wholly immoral.
Why?
because it's getting fun and sport
Pleasure, yeah.
out of the torture and the pain
and the death
of another thing.
And why do we eat meat?
Because we have canines. We've evolved to be omnivores. So we are omnivores. In a biological definition, we are an omnivorous species.
Sure.
So that's the answer to your question.
Okay, let me respond then.
Our whole gut is designed.
Can I just respond to your point?
Our teeth are designed to be omnivores.
So herbivorous
animals. How we've evolved.
So herbivorous animals have canines as well. Hippos have the biggest canines in the world. They're completely. Can I finish my point?
Yeah, we could evolve to not be omnivores, though.
So let me finish my point. Herbivorous animals have canines as well. Hippos have the biggest canines in the world. And I would say just because. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Let me finish. What are you talking about?
Well, no herbivore has a long canine. That is the definition of a canine by its length.
What about a gorilla? What about a gorilla?
Or an elephant that has a massive tooth.
Wait, what about a gorilla?
By circumference.
What about gorilla?
The other apes eat meat.
No, gorillas are herbivorous animals.
Well,
anyway,
chimpanzees certainly eat meat, and they're not.
I'm not talking about chimpanzees. I just gave you an example.
Choose one, and I'm choosing another one.
No. I'm saying
chimpanzees aren't alone.
My point is my point is just because animals have canines, that doesn't necessarily mean they eat meat. I've given you an example of when that's the case. And I would also say just because we can do something, that doesn't make it moral to do so.
I think the thing you need to bear in mind is the natural world. Do we hold a lion accountable for the fact it kills a zebra?
But I guess the lion hasn't got the moral agency we have. So lions, they'll actually each other, and we wouldn't say, well,
I don't think lions actually. I don't know enough about lions to know whether
they each other, and they actually eat their own babies. So let's say if I was going to eat my own baby, and you said to me, "Don't do that," and I said, "Well, we don't hold the lion accountable for it." You'd say, "What the lion does is irrelevant because you understand right and wrong." So when it comes to eating animals, could I not say the same? I say, well, yes, the lion does it, but just because the lion does it, that doesn't justify us doing it when we understand right and wrong.
Yeah, but so it's an interesting question.
I'm gonna kill all the animals and I'm gonna eat all of them.
How do you justify it? How do you morally justify killing animals?
I grab them from the neck.
Yeah.
I say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. And I take the neck out.
How do you
drain the blood out?
Yeah, but I'm asking
and then I cook it on the stove.
I know, but I'm asking you to justify it. How do you morally justify it?
That is justifying it.
What is?
Allah said, yeah, no suffering, no suffering.
But I could kill you without suffering. It's still wrong.
If you kill me, I'll kill you. But before you
that doesn't make any sense. How can you kill me if I'm
You can never kill me, brother, even if you wanted to. But I'm telling you, I would kill you before you kill me.
No, but my point is...
Right now, I'm on a terrorist charge, Jackie. Terrorist charge, terrorism.
Okay.
Yeah? And also the police have got my house on lockdown right now for a murder.
Yes.
So when you're talking about killing, you need to come correct, bro.
What did your mother feed you when you were born?
Milk.
Milk. What is milk? Is it vegan?
My mum's milk, breast milk, yes, vegan.
Is it vegan?
Yes.
Milk is vegan.
My mum's breast milk was vegan, yes.
No. Milk. Your mum milk is vegan.
Yes, my mum's milk is vegan.
How do you know that?
Because there's no animal exploitation from my mum picking up her baby and feeding me with her breasts.
So if they make cheese from your mother, milk, you will understand. It will be called vegan.
If she consents, then yes, it's vegan. I'll ask her and I'll see if I can sort you out. Give you some cheese.
No. I've got chess in my backpack, and I'll challenge you to a game of chess. If you win, I'll go vegan for 2 weeks. If you win, we'll just say I'm victorious.
So male chicks are ground up alive.
Do we care about male chicks?
You should do.
Should I? What have I done?
I guess you're just a piece of shit.
What I heard on the radio is that the pig killing is integrated with like a very holistic system of feeding the population, because we haven't even got to the point of feeding the whole population yet.
That's the thing. What we're doing is we're going to developing countries, taking their soy, and they have people starving to death. We take their soy and we feed it to a cow so that we can eat the cow.
It's fucked up, isn't it, mate? It's fucked up!
So yeah, you're vegan.
I sure am.
Awesome.
I just had a delicious 5-bean salad with lentils and all the vegetables chopped up. A little bit of mayonnaise, vegan mayonnaise, of course, from Hellman's.
How long have you been vegan?
5 weeks.
5 weeks. The animals that we're breeding and killing by the billions, okay? These animals are being fed with crops. So there are more insect deaths because the animals you're eating are fed with crops.
Justifying the killing of the
you kill more crops than me, and therefore more insects and rodents than me, because you're not vegan.
You justify killing the insects. You're justifying that. I thought you were against killing animals.
Your point is absolutely nonsense. I'll tell you how your point is absolutely nonsense.
Go on.
If I don't eat meat, and you eat bread, if I don't eat meat, if I only eat a little bit of meat a day and you eat bread, who kills more animals? Who kills more insects?
You.
No, you. Because you mow down an entire lawn.
So you didn't understand my point. You didn't understand my point. Do you think that getting pleasure is a good enough justification to hurt animals?
Oh no.
So is getting pleasure from eating meat a good enough reason to kill animals?
Well,
the death of a cow in nature is 100 times worse. Not just, for billions of years, every single day, than a farmer, just as I would kill you in the context that I gave a moment ago. That for a farmer to kill an animal in that context, rather than not to farm and leave the animals in nature.
We wouldn't be leaving them anywhere. We're breeding them ourselves.
Well, you've got to let them go free.
No. We stop. So the reason there's billions of animals each year is because we're artificially breeding them.
But not kill
No, we wouldn't farm them. We stop. No. We stop breeding them. They wouldn't exist.
Okay.
We're not adding to the suffering in the wild. We just reduce the suffering.
Them to breed.
These animals have. They're not. Listen, these animals aren't breeding naturally. We're sticking our.
He wants them to be extinct. What I want to say is.
Hey, look.
Not in a murderous way. I'm talking about what humans are doing.
You're making them.
I'm talking about farming.
Yes.
Or letting them go to nature.
We're not letting them go anywhere. We're not letting them go anywhere.
The humans are making decisions.
No. These animals wouldn't exist.
Or humans
no, that's not a choice we're making though, because these animals wouldn't exist. No. These. Hey, let me finish now. I've listened to you talk. These animals that we are eating and killing by the billions, they are not existing in nature. These cows with these massive udders, these chickens that are so overweight they can't walk, they do not exist in nature. When we stop breeding them, they won't be in the wild suffering, they won't exist.
Yeah, but what's going to happen? They made it for half a billion years.
Yes, and then we took their genetics and we changed them.
Yeah, only over the last 10,000 years.
Yes. Do you think we're going to release these chickens in the wild? No, vegans want to stop breeding animals. In the same way, if I was breeding a new population of dogs now and stabbing them every day, and you said, stop doing that, and I said, well, if I stop, they won't exist, and carried on doing it, what would you say to me? You'd say they'd be better off extinct. Stop breeding those animals.
I actually agree with you.
It's harder for them though, isn't it? So I think we need to force ourselves to at least acknowledge this is happening. Otherwise we're never going to... It's horrible. I've tried watching it as well. It's hard to watch, but it's the truth, it's what's happening. And if we turn a blind eye to it and don't watch it, it doesn't make a difference to them. This is happening whether we like it or not.
I'll try it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for stopping.
I'll try it.
Do you want a hug?
So long.
Thank you so much for stopping. It's been a really good conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. But you have the power to help stop this by being active. By being vegan, when you were vegan, all we're doing was we're not hurting animals. And that's the first step, but we're not doing anything for them.
Yeah.
The only way we
I pretty much am vegan.
Yeah. The only way we actually stop this
is by
helping other people see it. So as horrible as this is, there's positivity there and there's hope because you can do something about it. You can come here and join us and you can show people what's happening. Because veganism has grown by 360% in the last 10 years. Exactly, so this is going to change.
I hope so. It is, isn't it?
It is if we work together and work on it.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep doing what
Thank you.
I believe we shouldn't hurt animals. Yeah. But that is just the way we've been brought up. So there is a way to change that. But in my personal opinion, there's bigger priorities right now.
I believe this is the biggest moral emergency in the world right now.
You think?
And that's because
there are kids in Syria sat in their homes with fucking their roofs collapsing on them.
A few minutes later.
Can any amount of sensory pleasure we get from eating their flesh justify the violence that we give to them?
No, not at all.
So then, is it fair for you to say that the act of buying animal products is contradicting your own morals?
Yeah, but I don't get to see it, so I think that's how I justify it to myself. Yeah, cheers for that.
No, I'll give you a... No, I appreciate the honesty.
I think that's where essentially eating meat came from.
Yes.
It was the essential necessity to survive, and we've grown up with that, and now it's almost it's not really we don't know any better, do we?
Exactly. So if we don't need to do it to them, what are we doing this to them for? Why are we torturing them like this?
Keep doing what you're doing. Educate people.
Thanks, man. So, I don't know if you're aware, but in the egg industry, when they're breeding the chickens, they only need the females, the hens, because they're the ones that lay the eggs. So they dispose of the male chicks. They don't need them. So they can be ground up alive while they're fully conscious. In the dairy industry, they separate the babies from their mothers because the calf wants to drink the mother's milk and we want it. Yeah, and all of the animals in the dairy and egg industry, they all end up killed, just like the ones, like the pigs bred for meat. So you said you like the taste of cheese, you like the taste of eggs, just like I did, but you also said you're against animal cruelty.
Yeah, it's part of the animal's cruelty,
sure.
I know that.
So which do you value more about yourself? What do you value higher? Do you value getting taste pleasure, or do you value being against animal cruelty? Which is more important to you? If you imagine that you're at the end of your life and you're looking back on the life you've lived, what would you wish you'd have chosen? Trying to stop the animal cruelty or getting taste pleasure?
I think being against animal cruelty.
Sure, yeah.
This interview is gonna change my life, you know that.